Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene Edwards. You are watching LUBED for April the 22nd, 2023. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Edition, Pacific Division Semifinal recap of game number 3 between the Los Angeles Kings and the Edmonton Oilers at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. And for the second game in this series, the Edmonton Oilers fall in overtime to the Kings. The Kings now lead the Pacific Division 2-1, as it was a very, very controversial 3-2 victory for the Kings. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. And brace yourself, guys, because I think a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me on my opinion of that and why the Oilers lost. But yeah, there was a lot to chew on that, and I'll get to that when I get to that point. Let's start off with the first period, as this is one thing that really bothers me with some hockey players, is some of the posing and posturing. Victor Arvidsson would pretend that he was in a knee-on-knee collision, and then he would go straight down the tunnel and then come back about a minute later. Okay, now this is where I have a problem with it. He may have been injured on the play. I'm not saying he wasn't, okay? But I'm not saying it was to the degree where he had to go right down the tunnel and all that. If you're going right down the tunnel, you're usually out for 5 to 10 minutes getting reassessed by your medical staff at the very earliest, if not for the rest of the period, if not the game and potentially the series and potentially your season. Yeah, he came back pretty quick, and I have a problem with that when players do that. I think that's really trying to I believe that's a bit of dirty play too. So was not a big fan of that. But it was what it was. We go to the second period, and Connor McDavid would awake as he would score on not one but 2 power play goals early. However, right after his second power play goal, Leon Draisaitl would take a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, and this is where I had a bit of a problem with the officiating. Not so much on the ending, guys, but right on this play here was where I had a lot of issues, because it appeared that it was just a simple little love tap on his skate, and he chirped a little bit to Doughty. Now, I'm hoping that penalty, because we don't know what was said, I'm hoping it was based off of something that he said. But if it was based off of that little thing on his skate blade, and then other players are getting cross-checked in the face throughout the series and in the chest and very violent cross-checks, but a little tap on his skate, if that costed Leon Draisaitl 2 minutes, because that 2-minute penalty actually led to Adrian Kemp tying the game right after McDavid. If that's where Draisaitl complained to the media afterward that he doesn't know the standard. And you know what? As a fan, I can honestly agree with him. I don't understand the standard either. If a love tap is getting you 2 minutes and a cross-check isn't, a cross-check to the face isn't, what is the standard? What is the standard in the NHL? So I get it. I really get his complaining about that. So anyway, we would go to the third period, where not much would happen. They would continue to chirp, and Oilers would continue to take penalties. Now, LA does not have the talent that the Edmonton Oilers have. With all due respect, Anze Kopitar is not no Connor McDavid. Adrian Kemp is not no Leon Draisaitl. Okay? So they have to come up with a different solution to unravel those guys and get them off their game. And I'll tell you right now, they're doing a hell of a job. They are doing a hell of a job. The Oilers need to focus those guys out. There's too much talent on this team to lose this series. And if they lose this series, it's a shame. It's honestly a shame. Holland addressed the defensive issues, bringing in Ekholm. this team is good. They just got to get some of that mental BS out and focus on hockey. And I am actually going to predict this, guys. I know I don't like doing predictions because I'm not a psychic or anything, but I'm going to predict this. Edmonton's going to win game 4. Edmonton's going to win game 5. LA's going to win game 6. And it's going to go to overtime in game 7. We're going to be... I don't have any nails left on my fingers right now as is, so I don't know what I'm going to do. But it's going to go right down to overtime. And I do believe there's only going to be one more overtime, and that will be game 7. I think everything else is going to be ended in regulation. I think Edmonton's going to handily defeat them in game 4. And probably handily in game 5. And then LA is going to come back to life again. But yeah, I expect big things out of the Oilers. They're not done yet. But anyway, let's get into what happened in the overtime that gave the LA Kings the victory. As there was a very controversial play with the puck being hit by a high stick and the play continuing on that would lead to Trevor Moore scoring the goal. Now, I watched those replays last night several times, over and over and over, because I did actually watch the overtime. I just did not decide to film last night. And then I watched it again this morning over and over. And honestly, there was one angle there that looked like there might have been a subtle little movement in the puck upon contact with the stick. But I can't even say for sure with 100% certainty that there was. Most of the other angles, honestly, it didn't look like it even, any kind of like the rotation of the puck as it was flying, didn't look like anything was changed. So I can totally understand when they went and did that 5 to 10 minute review and they were looking at it over and over, I can totally understand the outcome of it being inconclusive. Because I would make the same decision if I was an NHL ref. That is not what costed the Edmonton Oilers the game. What costed the Edmonton Oilers the game, I'm going to get into on the X Factor.
The McGillis scores! The Edmonton Oilers have tied the game!
Here are your Edmonton Oilers X Factors for tonight.
Okay, so for the X Factor tonight, it's based off of community. The Oilers lost this game due to the fact that they're letting LA get to them in their game, and they're falling to the chirps. Drew Doughty is the Connor McDavid for chirps in the NHL. Okay, he's the chirp champion. He knows how to unravel players. I've heard some of his chirps. He's good at it. He's very good at it. They need to be able to block him out and focus on the task in hand, and that's getting the goals. That's what costed this game. It's not so much that ending, as much as a lot of you guys will disagree with me. No, they're taking too many penalties still. Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3, too many penalties. Too many penalties means you're not having McDavid, Draisaitl, you're not having Kane, you're not having Hyman out. You're having your guys like Bukestad, your third and fourth line guys, your Fogle and all that for a lot of the play. You want to have McDavid and Draisaitl as much out as possible. And if you're constantly allowing LA to get at you, well, they're doing their job because they're shutting down McDavid and Draisaitl as they're on the bench as the PK unit comes out to defend. So that's realistically the reason. I don't think the officiating was all that bad. I didn't like the call on Draisaitl in the second. I thought that was very lame. But other than that, the overtime call, I had trouble seeing it. I don't know about you guys. Feel free to leave your comments in the section. But yeah, I didn't really notice anything. All right, so that takes us to the Sportsnet standings for week 1 of the pool, the LUBED with Gene Edwards group. There was only 5 of us to join this year, and I'm dead last at the moment with 61 points, sorry. Romrock's leading the score with 109 points. For those of you out there, you can still join in for the next round. You can't join in for this round, obviously, but you could still come into this hockey pool and maybe make a dent, maybe even catch me, try to catch me, or Rom Rocks or whoever. You can do that for the second and third rounds. I would love to see more guys come into this pool. And the pool is lubed with Gene Edwards, and the password is Leonard. And I believe it's capital L, all lowercase ENARD. I believe that is what it was. So yeah, I'd love to see more guys in this pool. Let's go to the Tim Hortons pack opening unveil. As we're going to open up another pack here and see what we get. I love these cards that they have, that they brought out this year. So let's see. They're kind of tough to open. I'd like to say childproof, but geez, I'm not a child. All right. Who do we got? Who do we got? Ooh, we got Haley Wickenheiser. She's actually on the commercial, I believe. Team Canada, Haley Wickenheiser for the female Team Canada team. Oh, everybody's favorite, Patrick Roy, when he was a Montreal Canadian. And then the last and final one, Brian Bellows of the Minnesota North Stars. So there you go. There's a few awesome cards. As I'll continue doing these Tim Hortons Legends Pack reveals going forward. All right, so the Edmonton Oilers will play on Sunday night for Game 4 at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Now, guys, I don't think we have to worry. Honestly, I like the Oilers' chances. I just think that that they just gotta somehow tune out the noise and just bring it. And I think we will. I think we're going to see the Oilers come really strong next game. I think we're going to see a much wider margin in the score. So my prediction, games 4 will be Edmonton, game 5 will be Edmonton. Edmonton will take a 3-2 lead in the series. It'll go back to LA for game 6, where LA will win it. And guys, as much as I don't have any nails, the Oilers will win it at the Rogers Place in Edmonton for game 7 in overtime. Yeah, I think this one's going to really go the distance. This is probably, if not, I would think this is probably the best series right now going in the league. You could debate Winnipeg and Vegas. That's a pretty good series as well. So we will see what happens going forward. Those of you who are witnessing this for the very first time and like the content that I bring, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. As for the rest of you guys, stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated. We will see you hopefully Sunday night, maybe Monday, for the recap. Anyway, you guys take care. Don't worry, the Oilers are still in pretty good. We will talk soon. Have a great night.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you.